I'm in particular thankful to our moderator, Severin Meister, who has greeted all the distinguished guests, all the excellencies already, because it would just be impossible for me to mention each and everybody. And if I look into the crowd, I even see more dignitaries than have already been mentioned. So we are one family today in this special endeavor of awarding not any head of state, I will come back to that a bit later, but this head of state with this very special European prize. Anda en tua miedita. You're very brave joining your mother and your father today for this very special event. And I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, that I had the privilege to experience Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu plenty of times during a lot of events, but I don't remember that she would have taken all her family with her that often. So it's a privilege for us, Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu, Excellency, President of the Republic of Kosovo, that you came with all your family. Thank you for that. As somebody who uses to hold speeches for professional reasons, this is very special, even unique for me, because doing a Laudatio for a head of state maybe occur once in a lifetime. That's the expectation. So I was thinking I will share with you first facts and figures, since Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu is not only an elected official, a head of state, but also an academic. Facts and figures matter to you, matter to us, matter to Kosovo, and are important for your leadership. Then I will share the one or the other thought on Kosovo and the leadership of Vjosa Osmani. And then there might be the one or the other request to the distinguished participants of this event today, because the story is not over. We're not looking only backwards, we're looking forward. And this is also something I want to share with you. Now, a head of the national football team of Austria once was asked, Josef Hickersberger, for those who know, he was asked whether in the next game the best players will play. And he said, maybe not the best, but the right ones. And this is always something to think about. So I would doubt that I would be the best to make a Laudatio for Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu. I mean, I hold your mobile and I use it maybe twice a year or 3 times a year, because I'm a bit hesitant to use a mobile of a head of state. So I can't pretend to be best friends day and night or something like that, but maybe I can do it right today, since it might be true what Nikolaus von Liechtenstein has stated, and I put it that way. With us is also Josef Höchtl today, long-standing member of the Austrian Parliament, kind of a mentor for me in early times, in district level and so on, but a mentor remains a mentor always. And he was always encouraging to go beyond borders, also beyond the borders of Austria when you do politics in Austria. And doing that, and that's the word you have used, Nikolaus von Liechtenstein, by doing that, it's really true, in this international community, Kosovo became what one has to call my first love. This is it, and this is why I want to do it right today when it comes to the president of this marvelous, very, very special state. So the facts and figures will come in a second. Just want to share with you my first experience I remember with Vjosa Osmani personally. It was in 2018. It was in the European Parliament in Strasbourg. That's also the place where you asked me, Nikolaus von Liechtenstein, in a cafe in the city of Strasbourg, whether I will do the Laudatio for Vjosa Osmani. And years before, 2018, we had the so-called Joint Parliamentary Assembly of the Kosovo Parliament and the European Parliament. Vjosa Osmani was a parliament member at that time. And in European Parliament, days are long. And of course, you listen when others speak all the time, each and every word, usually. And it was a very long meeting. And you can imagine the plenary of this meeting room. It was not a hemicycle big plenary of the European Parliament, but a meeting room. But it looks similar to the big plenary. And people would speak not from the center of the room, but from their seats. And I had my headphones on, because sometimes people were speaking Albanian, sometimes people were speaking various languages of the European Union, and sometimes people were speaking English, which I usually listen to in my headphones. And if somebody speaks English, of course, it's not translated, it's directly transferred, the headphone. And I was listening in a regular mood, I would say. And then I heard something in my headphones which was different, more visionary, stronger, academically substantial, I would say. And I was looking around who was speaking, because people speak from their seats. You don't immediately see who is speaking at the moment. I was looking around. Who is that who speaks so visionary about the future of Kosovo and the European integration and the relation with the European Union? And that's my first impression of Vjosa Osmani, that time in 2018. That was also our first handshake that day, and I immediately afterwards called the that time ambassador of the Republic of Kosovo, Excellency Sami Ukeli, who is also with us today, who was my first and I would say best lecturer on Kosovo for me all the time. He's also with us today, and he explained to me what's going on, or let's say he helped me to understand the political landscape better. And this was the first impression, and I was obviously not wrong, and I was not the only one thinking this is a very visionary politician, because Dr. Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu is the 6th president of the Republic of Kosovo. She has been elected on April 4th, 2021. She previously served as the Speaker of Parliament, and after being elected as a Member of Parliament of the Republic of Kosovo in 5 consecutive mandates. She graduated from the Faculty of Law of the University of Pristina and received her master's and doctorate degrees in international law from the University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, that's in the United States. She advocates for an impartial and professional justice system, has strongly supported extensive rule of law reforms in Kosovo. She relentlessly championed women's rights, particularly regarding their participation in peace and security processes, as well as their economic and political empowerment. Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu is devoted to raising awareness of and supporting children with special needs, and committed to empowering disadvantaged and marginalized groups in Kosovo. In the February 2021 election, she achieved a historic level of popular support, which then also led to her election in Parliament as the 6th President of the Republic. Prior to that, Vjosa Osmani was the first woman to have served as the Speaker of the Parliament of the Republic of Kosovo, having been elected to the post on February 3, 2020. She also served as acting President of the Republic of Kosovo between November 2020 and March 2021. In previous terms, as a Member of Parliament, she chaired the Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs, the Committee on European Integration, and was the Deputy Chair of the Committee on Constitutional Reform. What a vita of this young lady. That deserves a hand, isn't it? I have pointed out before that I have met Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu first time in 2018. In fact, she has been politically active beside her academic career, beside raising a family, for a quarter of a century already. And before that, we must not forget that today, I think, Vjosa, even as a child, as a teenager, you have witnessed the war. So you're among the rare number of heads of state of this planet who know what they are talking about when they talk about war. You are a female leader. You contribute to gender equality, not only in your policies, which is important, and I encourage each and every of my species, men, some of us are gentlemen, to follow the UN motto of he for she. So to contribute to gender equality is not an issue that women should do if they want to, or something like that. It's something each and every one of us is called to do, but you are not doing it only due to your policies, but also due to your example, Vjosa Osmani. You're not any head of state, I said that. Maybe it's impossible to call a head of state any head of state, but you're definitely a very special head of state, because you're heading the youngest state of Europe. The youngest state of Europe, the Republic of Kosovo, going through a tough time. And we also have to state it today, still not recognized by 5 EU member states, which is nothing but a shame. It's a shame for the European Union and for the European people. My previous appointment today was with representatives of the State of Israel, and it was a particular joyful moment when Israel has recognized Kosovo now nearly 5 years ago. So Israel even provided a good example for these 5 non-recognizing member states. Kosovo, the country you lead, Vjosa Osmani, is a country of European spirit, more than many EU member states. A country with people of confidence, even through struggle, even through very difficult times, even still discriminated as people in many different ways, such as UN membership, such as the path to EU membership. Even in these conditions, people remain more European and more confident in their future. That's an example not for any state or politician, that's an example for all of us personally, how your people behave, Vjosa Osmani. What you do is inspirational, Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu. It's inspiration. It can lead all of us to think differently, to focus more on priorities. It has been said that you would be committed to democracy and rule of law. And I've already stated, you know what it means to not have conditions of democracy and rule of law. Even worse, to have conditions of war. You are contributing to what is called the Euro-Atlantic future of Kosovo. And maybe nobody in Europe or worldwide would know how important the Euro-Atlantic relation is, because I call it now safeguarding peace and the path to peace, what was only possible for Kosovo due to this Euro-Atlantic relation. And not many people do know what can happen if there is a lack of partnership and confidence and mutual reliability in this Euro-Atlantic relation. This is why your contribution matters most here, Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu. Thank you for that. Last point on these, I would call it policy issues of your presidential office, is about the international relations of Kosovo. And here I dare to compare Kosovo to my home country, Austria. And I've done it several times already. The history books tell about Austria more than 100 years ago. It would have been a state, literally, a state nobody believed in. And it led to crimes, worst crimes in mankind's history, committed by many Austrians. It led from bad to worse, a state nobody believed in. These days we are celebrating 80 years of the end of World War II, 70 years of Austria's States Treaty independence, and 30 years of EU integration of Austria, which worked for us, luckily. So even more we should work for others that it will work too. And actually, Kosovo is a small country. Austria is a small country. If there is a lesson from history for Austria, then it's important to have relations in Europe and globally, to have strong international relations, to reach out every day internationally. And if I may say it in this moment of celebration today, that way, Vjosa Osmani, I imagine it's not easy to do that every day. But you are the one, you are the hand of Kosovo outreach to the world, and Kosovo needs it existentially. Thank you for doing it every day, also as a Kosovo representative, to keep this international relation. Thank you for that. Or to put it in one word, a country like Kosovo needs friends, a country like Austria needs friends. Each country needs friends, and it's, by the way, wrong, even if I admire the person who is quoted with it, that a state would never have friends. That's not true. Otherwise, I wouldn't know so many friends of Kosovo. I know them. Obviously, a state has friends. It has been mentioned that there were other awardees in history. People like Ronald Reagan, people like Helmut Kohl, and people like your predecessor, the founder of the Republic of Kosovo, the visionary, the one who is also called the Gandhi of the Balkans. Maybe Gandhi should be called the Rugova of India. Would be also be well deserved, but he was a bit earlier. And the philosopher, the visionary of non-violent resistance. A novelist, imagine, a novelist as a president, a novelist as a state founder. It could be invented that way. It happened in Kosovo. This is Ibrahim Rugova, and you follow his path, Vjosa Osmani, not only receiving this award as he did, but also in your policies, also in your commitment, and also in your, at the same time, patriotic and global commitment. Last point, and now it comes for all of you. You're not here only to listen, I have to tell you. You can't run away easily. There's a big difference between Ronald Reagan and Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu, and between Helmut Kohl and Vjosa Osmani, and even between Ibrahim Rugova and Vjosa Osmani. The missions of these awardees of this prize have already been accomplished. But the mission of this lady, Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu, is by far not yet accomplished. And if we know something from history, and if we can feel something in the air in geopolitics today, then it is that a person with such a commitment, with such a vision, with such hard work for her country and her people and their future and their European integration will need partners. And that's you. That's what I request from you. It's not a prize for something that was in the past. It's a prize that shows a commitment of all who are present here today. When the prize will be handed over to Vjosa Osmani-Sadriu, it's a commitment of you to contribute to Kosovo's future. And there are plenty of opportunities for that, by the way. You can invest in IT sector, you can invest in digitalization in Kosovo, you can invest in the youth, which is well educated, autodidactively in many cases. You can invest in many different fields. And you can contribute politically to a faster and more stable European integration of the youngest state of Europe, the Republic of Kosovo. And this is the best way to walk the talk. We talk today about Vjosa Osmani's achievements and her big commitment, but to walk this talk means to live the partnership with the Republic of Kosovo. Thank you for that.